The Dodgers' October path is set. It's the Reds in the wild card. But who takes the ball first? And should Dodgers fans be worried about Cincinnati?
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It's time for Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The Dodgers, champions of the NL West once again, will begin their postseason journey by hosting the Cincinnati Reds in the wild card round. With an absolutely loaded rotation, who takes the mound in game 1, 2, and if needed, a do-or-die game 3. Plus, on the listener line, Tony from Los Feliz is feeling nervous about the Reds. Should he be? Travis, 162 down. Now we need LA to win 13 games over the next month.
Yeah, they just need to make sure that the last 6 months have been a preamble as opposed to the main course, right? This is what we sign up for as Dodger fans. This is what we expect as Dodger fans. And now all those guys that we've been watching all season long, they get to show up in the most important time. Cannot wait to watch it.
Yeah, we're going to get this and more in today's episode, which is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. He's Travis Rodgers. I'm Harry Ruiz, two guys that talk sports for a living and bleed Dodger Blue for life. You can get more Travis on 710 ESPN LA or the ESPN LA app from 3 to 6 p.m. with the Travis and DeMarco show. As for me, I'm the Spanish play-by-play broadcaster for the USC Football Trojans and the Las Vegas Raiders. If you're new to the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts. Also, hit us up on our listener line, 279-3-LOCKED or 279-356-2533. Leave us your name and where you're tuning from and your take on Dodger baseball to potentially be featured in our show. First things first, with the Dodgers clinching the National League West crown on Thursday, their scoreboard watching shifted from the Padres to the Mets and Reds. New York lost their series in Miami. Cincinnati won theirs in Milwaukee, and with the tiebreaker in the Reds' favor, they make it to the postseason with an 83-79 record, earning a trip to Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers in the wild card. Travis, we already spoke about this Dodgers Red series that happened the last couple of months. The Dodgers won 5 out of 6 total this year against them, but it's a best out of 3 series with all the pressure in the world on the Dodgers, with the Reds playing with house money right now. What are your thoughts, and do you like our chances to watch our team to keep playing this weekend?
Yeah, I like their chances a lot, but that doesn't mean anything really, right, Harry? I'm optimistic. The Dodgers have the better team. The Dodgers have the better players. The Dodgers are more optimistic. It is at Dodger Stadium, all 3 games of this series, if in fact it goes 3 games, and that gives them about this much of an advantage, just a little bit. Baseball is weird like that. Baseball is the only sport that we follow regularly where a team that is not as good as the other team regularly wins. Right? In football, if a good team plays a team that is significantly less talented, that football team doesn't win very often. In basketball, it almost never wins. In baseball, it wins a lot. And that's what makes these series so much fun. That's what makes them so scary. I wanted the Mets instead of the Reds. The Reds give me a lot of pause. I think that the Reds have very good starting pitching. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. They have no pressure on them whatsoever, where the Mets had a lot. The Mets were coming unglued. The Mets were, in a death spiral over the last 2 months of the season and all sorts of expectations there. So, if I were a Reds fan, I would feel pretty, you don't want to play the defending champs, obviously, but the Reds have a lot of things that kind of go their way. Now, I'm thrilled the Dodgers are where they are. Obviously it would have been better to get that bye and miss this round entirely, but that's not how it worked out. They're playing really well all of a sudden. Their bullpen, Harry, dare I say, their bullpen looked to be a little smoother over the last 5-6 games of the season. So I'm very optimistic and very excited to get started.
Yeah, how about in this sweep against the Mariners, having the bullpen on Saturday night strike out the last 9 batters of the game, looking incredible, where it's Alex Vesia, where it's Blake Trinan, where it's Edgardo Henriquez, and they just threw fire and got all those batters out of the way and made you feel, okay, this might be, and hopefully, the version that we get once October rolls around. Well, I know technically the first game is going to be still September, but that's what we want. That's what we need. But are you willing right now to risk it and say, okay, instead of sending Emmett Sheehan out there or sending out a guy in a piggyback situation, be like, our bullpen looked great on the weekend, let's send him out there. Do you feel confident enough right now?
I feel more confident than I did a week ago, which I guess is saying something. I feel more confident than I might have even 3 or 4 days ago. And look, as quickly as this stuff can go bad, it can go good. And Roki Sasaki really changed some things. He went out there and he pitched again and he looked really good and he's landing that splitter over and over again. And he's making some keep in mind, the Mariners are a really good team. The Mariners have a bye in the American League. They're the second seed in that half of the tournament. The Dodgers looked really good out of the bullpen against them. And I get it. No one was really playing for anything necessarily on Seattle's side, but that they're still professional hitters. They're still up there grinding at bats. And yeah, I do feel, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I know that this thing can turn again like that, but what Dave Roberts has been saying, what Andrew Friedman has been saying, that we're going to trust in the talent. We believe in what we brought in here, and those guys need to perform at the levels that we expect. You started to see it a little bit. I think Sasaki changes a lot. I think Kershaw going to the pen, who I know we won't see in this round. Hopefully they get to the next round. I think that changes things a little bit. Sheehan can obviously gobble up a lot of those innings in the middle of the game if, in fact, those need to get covered. So it's exciting. I don't want to say I like where they are, but I like it better than where they were about 2 weeks ago, for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Kershaw, he won't play. He went 5 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, only 1 walk. And it's important to say, it wasn't just a throwaway series for the Mariners. This was their last competitive baseball game ahead of what's going to be the divisional round that for them it starts on Saturday, if I recall correctly. It's nearly a week before they have another real baseball game. So they really needed to get some good results on the field. And I feel like the Dodgers were able to stifle them, to leave them in a difficult position. And look, the Dodgers, they're going to go in as heavy favorites, not only because they have home field advantage, but also they're battle tested right now. It wasn't a season like last year, the year before that, or the year before that, even when they won 106 games and needed to go into San Francisco. They had a lot of challenges, big slumps in July and August, threatening them from winning their division, but their depth and resilience got them through this. The Reds, meanwhile, they're the definition of a dangerous underdog here. They play loose, they're aggressive on the bases, and they've got young stars like Elly De La Cruz who can change a game in one swing, in one sprint. Cincinnati, they didn't sneak into October on accident, Travis. They've earned their shot, and they're coming in with nothing to lose. Was it more the Mets just royally choking, or the Reds playing good baseball, Trav?
I think it was more the Mets choking. I mean, the Reds played well enough to get in, but it was, I think it had a lot more to do with the Mets coming completely unglued than it did with the Reds running them down. But I'll go back to what you said, Harry, and what I kind of started with. Every single box, if you're going down a checklist, checks the Dodgers. Literally every single box. The Dodgers are hotter, they're better, they're at home, they're more experienced, they're pitching, like just right on down the line, maybe with the exception of the bullpen. And that's what scares me so most. That's just not how baseball goes, where one team has all the advantages and, okay, you just kind of steamroll the opposition. We've seen it happen way too many times. The good news is the Dodgers know this. The good news is that they're loaded with vets that have been through this. I really do think, just seeing this a little bit yesterday with Kershaw coming out of the game and listening to Freddie talk and listening to Kike Hernandez talk and about Clayton Kershaw, I really do think the Kershaw, hey, see you later, guys, tour, for lack of a better word. It was really short, but I really, seeing the way those guys care about him, seeing the way that they want to send him out, I think the timing, like I mentioned, a month or so ago, was not coincidental. I think this was done to motivate. I think this was done to inspire, and it looks like it might have.
I was actually watching the game at Allegiant Stadium before the kickoff for the Raiders game and during the game as well. But before kickoff, somebody from the Raiders front office came up and he saw me watching the game on my iPad. He was like, "Do the Dodgers even have anything to play for right now?" I was like, "Are you kidding? It's Clayton Kershaw's last regular season start." You can argue this is even bigger than a World Series. Of course they have something to play for right now. And there was a universe where if the Yankees lost and if the Blue Jays lost, the Dodgers would have had home field advantage advantage through the World Series if they made it to the World Series, if they made it to the World Series. But I was like, that doesn't care. Just win for Kersh. And look, right now in the postseason, it's pretty much the same case. Win for Kersh. Give him his third ring. Send him off to the sunset with another ring where he actually participated in a full season.
Yeah, and not just participated here, he thrived. I mean, thrived. This has been a good season for anybody. This is a great season for somebody in their 18th year in the league who was coming back, and it felt like, and I'll just sell it. When he was coming back for another year, this felt like, this is going to be ceremonial. They're going to get him his 3,000 strikeouts, and they're going to move on. He'll have some sort of injury. He'll go into the IL, and that'll be the end of that. Wrong. He has been incredibly important to what they've done. I think if they're going to win the World Series, Harry, he's going to have to be incredibly important to what they're about to do. And just one of the great Dodgers of all time, getting to see him wrap it. What an amazing performance. 5 1/3, 7 strikeouts, just dealing, out there striking out guys against a really good team on the last day of the season. It was a perfect ending to the regular season. Hopefully we get a perfect ending to the postseason.
And look, we say 18 seasons, it feels a lot. I mean, it's nearly 2 decades, but we're not talking about Nolan Ryan retiring at 46 years old. Clayton Kershaw is 37 years old. He went 11-2 this year, 3.36 ERA. He had a fantastic season. Now, hopefully the postseason is the continuation of that.
Think about it this way. Let's say he was 27 and not 30, not even 27. Let's say he's 37, but he said he wanted to continue to pitch. Just like this, there'd be a line of teams wanting to sign him. A line of them. I mean, the
Dodgers wouldn't let that happen.
No, the Dodgers would never let him leave. But in an alternate universe where a guy that's coming off of an 11-2 season with an ERA in the 3s, there would be a line around the block to get their hands on a guy like that.
The Texas Rangers have been trying to get him for the last 3-4 years, and Kershaw's like, no, loyal to a fault to LA, and here you go. He has the opportunity to compete. Going back to the Dodgers, Travis, the key right here, in my opinion, is focus. They can't afford a slow start. In a short series like this, momentum can flip instantly. Remember 2023 against the D-backs? It was actually Kershaw on the mound where the Diamondbacks scored 6 runs in the first inning, and they never were able to get to feel themselves, and the Dodgers were actually swept there. So I feel like the start of not only this series, but just game 1 is key because it's 2 out of 3. You win game 1, you set yourself up to, okay, game 2, series over. You lose game 1, and it's like, holy crap, here we go again.
Yeah. I don't have a ton to add to that. You're right. You're spot on that game 1 in a 3-game series is everything. Now, I will say this. I think the Dodgers will win game 1 because of who they're going to send out to the mound. I would anticipate it being Shohei Ohtani. But even if the Dodgers, I really do think the Dodgers will win this series. Because of what you said. I think they're going to come in focused. I think what you described, they know very, very well that they need to be ready from the absolute first pitch of the first game. Their experience hopefully will lend them to be in a position to do that. I think, you look at the Reds, they don't have a ton of experience outside of Gavin Lux. So this is the advantage Dodgers, which like to go all the way back to the beginning, which is exactly what scares me a little bit.
Yeah, and let's go. Home field advantage matters. The lineup matters, and Dave Roberts has to get these pitching decisions right, which brings us to our next topic. Because while the opponent is locked in, the biggest question for the Dodgers now is who gets the ball? Dave Roberts has multiple aces at his disposal, but only 2 of them are guaranteed starting in the wild card round. Next on Locked On Dodgers, we'll break down the case for each, and I'll tell you who I trust the most if this series gets to a winner-take-all in Game 3.
Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. And what I love most is how portable a 5-hour energy shot is. That big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. Just put it right in your pocket, in your backpack, in your briefcase, whatever you got, right? I love that transfusion flavor. Absolutely good. Reminds me about being on the golf course a little bit, and you get that quick little lift. before or during a very busy day. I love how fast it kicks in. It's sugar-free, so you don't have to worry about that crash that can come along a little bit later on. Never with 5-Hour Energy. Enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in-store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today.
This episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2mg and 3mg nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. I've used the caffeine toothpicks before my back and forth drives to LA to call USC games this season, and they give me energy without the jitters. I love that. And the flavors, man, peppermint, watermelon, ice, that's my favorite. That one tastes great. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com. Use the code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code LOCKEDON. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Toothpicks. Don't forget to follow Locked On Dodgers not only on YouTube, but on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can find Travis on social media at Travis Rodgers on X and Instagram. Rodgers just like Dodgers. Just replace the D with an R. Meanwhile, I'm at Harry Ruiz on X, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, and at Harry_Ruiz_ on TikTok. All right. This is one of the rarest and best problems a Dodgers manager could ever ask for. Too much starting pitching talent. Let's start, Travis, with Blake Snell. 2-time Cy Young winner, has pitched in October before, including against the Dodgers in the World Series, and knows how to handle pressure. He's not afraid of the big stage, and his stuff plays against anyone. In my opinion, he is a must between the first 2 games of the wild card. Do you agree?
I wouldn't mind if he was. I wouldn't mind if he wasn't. Let me kind of reverse engineer this for you, Harry, as I see it. 3 games, right? Of the 4 starters that we know are going to take the ball, I think there's a clear 4th guy, and it's because of this up here, right? It's Glasnow. Glasnow is the one that I think has the biggest variance as far as performance goes. When he's on, he's as nasty as they come. He's terrific, but we've seen it before where something's a little out of sync. The mound isn't quite the way he likes it. There's a drop of rain or whatever it is. It just seems that he's the easiest one to get off the beam and struggle a little bit. So he's off the board. I really do think that you could take any of those remaining 3 guys, Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Snell, and put them in any order imaginable, and it's fine. So if Blake Snell is in one of those first 2 games, great. I love it. If you want to roll Blake Snell as your break glass in case of emergency guy in game 3, I love it. If you win the first 2 games and Blake Snell is your game 1 starter in the NLDS, I love it. I love it if Ohtani's the game 1 starter in round 2. I love it if Yamamoto's the game 1 starter. I think however you line these guys up, and this is the biggest advantage the Dodgers have, is not only can they throw any of those guys, they can throw them in any order and still be set up for what's coming after, in fact, if they can win. So if you like Snell in one of those first 2 games, Harry, I'm with you. Great. Put him in there. No problem at all, because I don't care who gets game 3 between those 3 guys. They're all Cy Young caliber pitchers, and I'm comfortable with all 3 of them.
So here's my formula for success. You put Blake Snell game 1, Shohei Ohtani game 2. I love Shohei Ohtani at Dodger Stadium. He's great on the road. Yeah. He's one of the best pitchers I've ever seen at Dodger Stadium when he's on that mound. So what do you prefer, an A-plus pitcher or an A pitcher? I would take A-plus Shohei in game 2 and Blake Snell in game 1, because in that case, when you make it, because I'm going to say it, when you make it to the divisional round, he would be available for game 2 on 4-day rest. And if you win in 2 games, you save Yoshinobu Yamamoto for game 1 of the NLDS. And I'd rather have Yamamoto and Snell on the road for the first 2 games in Philly, and then have Shohei Ohtani Tyler Glasnow available to pitch at home, where I would feel way safer instead of having them with that wild crowd in Philadelphia. So that's why my formula right now is game 1, Blake Snell. We know he's nasty, and I feel he's in his best spot since he arrived to the Dodgers.
Yep.
Game 2, Shohei Ohtani. He is great on the road. He's spectacular at home. Have him there. If you win those 2, then you save Yama for game 1 of the DS. But if you make it to game 3 where it's a winner take all and you need to win to advance to the next round, then you have Yamamoto available, who is an ace. Have him there in game 3, and then, well, you go with it and save Glasnow for game number 1 of the DS when you make it there.
Here's the wild card too, Harry, and I like your plan. I would co-sign that plan right now and feel very good moving through with it. I think the wild card is, no pun intended, is that who knows how you're going to have to use some of these starting pitchers as relief pitchers just to advance out of this round. I mean, like we talked about in segment 1, like we've been talking about for weeks, that the everydayers have heard us talk about, that you're going to have to cover some bullpen innings. It's inevitable. You're not going to get these guys through 7 innings and you're going to need somebody. So does Glasnow all of a sudden come out of the bullpen? Is Sheehan in there in a meaningful situation? Do you have an opportunity where you can win the game? Let's say you have Ohtani lined up to pitch, game 3. All of a sudden you've got, the chance to win the series. Does he come out of the bullpen? There are so many different variables that, that old phrase that, man plans and God laughs, that we can put all of these plans however we want. And then one thing happens and all the plans go up in smoke. So I like your plan. I hope that it goes super smooth, that we get 7 innings out of all these starting pitchers and you hand it off to some guys that are feeling pretty good in that bullpen, whether it's Sasaki or anybody else. But, the plan is one thing. How it unfolds is always a little different.
Here you go, Travis. In 6 out of their last 7 games, the Reds haven't scored more than 4 runs.
Yeah.
They haven't scored more than 3 runs. They haven't gotten to 4 runs in 6 out of their last 7 games, while they were trying to clinch a playoff spot. They weren't facing Blake Snell. They weren't facing Shohei Ohtani. They weren't facing Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and they were struggling with the bat. That goes to show you, it's like, the Mets, they really, up. They really screwed it up. I don't want to get censored. Yeah. They really screwed it up. It was more them than Cincy. But, man, the Dodgers, I feel that they have what it takes with the pitching to get them through the wild card, and I don't feel they need more than 2 games. I don't feel they don't need more than 2. So
I hope not. I hope not, and you're right about look. The Reds were experiencing pressure to get into the playoffs. I think that's reflected in their run production, right? There is no more pressure anymore. They accomplished their goal at the beginning of spring training. The goal for most of these teams, not the Yankees, not the Dodgers, not the Padres, we know the teams that we're talking about, but for a team like the Cincinnati Reds, making the postseason is a massive accomplishment. It is a successful season. So now it's that, okay, man, let's just go see what happens next. We're not supposed to win this thing, and let's see what's up. That's a team that always kind of scares me. The pressure of getting in was real. Now that pressure is gone. Now they can just go play.
They're in a position where it's like, hey, man, we got more than 162 games to watch our team this season. Let's enjoy it. The Dodgers, they're like, no, man, we need to win this.
Yeah, it's game 1 for Dodger fans on Tuesday night. It literally is game 1 of the season. This is what we've been waiting for 6 months.
So what's the right combination? Let us know in the comments below. What do you think the Dodgers should do with their pitching plan, who they should send out? And Roki Sasaki looked fantastic on his relief appearances. Kershaw isn't going to be available for the wild card round. So Sasaki, Sheehan, Vesia, even though he had some hiccups towards the end of the year, I still trust Vesia. Treinen, he started looking a little bit better in the series against the Mariners. Do you trust him or not? Or do you have to burn your starting pitchers before you go on the road against Philadelphia?
I think you're going to see the starting pitchers. I really do. There's just not enough runway. Maybe if you get, get to that 5-game series, get into a 7-game series, then you go back to more of a traditional approach with your bullpen. But in a 3-game series, the last thing that can happen is a Blake Treinen, Tanner Scott meltdown in a game that you should win because you decided to try it one more time and now you got your back against the wall. I think you'll see the starters a lot out of the bullpen and to start games.
And look, right now, I feel like the hook is going to be very loose from Dave Roberts.
Yeah,
It's going to be like, hey, can you go more than 6? Can you go more than 7? Can you go more than 8, Blake Snell? Do you feel confident? Yes? All right. I won't even go out on the mound. Take it away. Pitch a complete game, and we're good if Blake Snell looks good. Same thing with Shohei Ohtani. He's going to pitch 6 innings no matter what. No matter what.
Look, he's here to win the World Series. This constantly protecting for a future date, this constantly protecting for something that may happen next season or the season after that. We're in the playoffs. Go try to win the playoffs. So that means you got to push him a little bit. You got to push him a little bit.
Hey, and how great is year 1 of Shohei Ohtani looking now when you look at the other player who has made more money than him in a contract in North American sports not make it to the postseason in his first year? Shout out Juan Soto. Shout out Steve Cohen. Shout out to the New York Mets with that. Man, let's keep enjoying it. But while we can all be debate starters with the rotation, the fans, they're debating something else. Should we even be worried about Cincinnati in the first place? Coming up on Locked On Dodgers, we go to our listener line where a caller isn't exactly feeling very confident.
Hey, you've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, yeah, right, like that actually works. There are so many products out there. It's very hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. And now Nutrafol is the official hair growth partner of Major League Baseball. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements, right? And you can feel good knowing that Nutrafol is NFS certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. So whether you're out at work, out with friends, or just getting ready for the morning, Nutrafol can give you that confidence in your daily routine that maybe isn't there right now. So see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 4 months with Nutrafol.
Thanks for making us your first listen wherever you may be tuning in, either on your favorite podcast app or our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Smash that notification bell so you never miss a beat. Full episodes, hot takes, breaking Dodgers news, and the Dodgers Postcast Show with Pete Fox live after the final out of every game. If it drops, you're on it. That's how you become an everydayer here on Locked On Dodgers, like Tony from Los Feliz or Los Feliz in California, where Travis, you asked him to call again, and he did. Here's what he had to say. Yeah, I mean, hey, he followed the order, Travis.
That changes I believe, the entire complexion of the wild card. I mean, I don't know where Hunter Green is in terms of trying to get them to win that division, but you got to think if they can somehow get him going early in that first game, I mean, he is a beast, and they have got the big arms to cause problems for the Dodgers moving into the wild card weekend on wild card day on Tuesday. My goodness, can you imagine Gavin Lux coming back and doing what he might have done here? I mean, that just changes the entire texture and look of that wild card. I'm a little more concerned now that the Reds are coming in. I think they've been scouting, obviously, everyone, but, I mean, the Mets are such a mess. I think that it would have really behooved the Dodgers to play them. But I think that that's going to be a very different looking, and you've got Mr. Terry Francona, the manager of just a historic and legendary manager. So this may not be as easy as we think. I still think the Dodgers obviously have more than enough, but, you know, the way things are looking, who knows? In any event, I do think that that's going to change the narrative a bit. Anyway, guys, sending lots and lots of support. This is going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it'll be a robust and long October run. We'll see. Starting to get my Ativan ready. Take care. Bye-bye.
Travis, Tony always brings it, right?
I love Tony. Tony puts a smile on my face. Look, okay, Tony, I'm with you. I'm a little worried about the Reds too. I think every Dodger fan that has watched this team over the last decade and a half knows that sometimes you get an opponent that doesn't look particularly scary on paper and you go home anyway. We've seen it happen with the Nats. They won the World Series. We saw it happen with the Padres. We saw it happen with Arizona, who got to the World Series that year. Nothing weird needs to happen to lose a 3-game series. You can just lose a 3-game series. He mentioned it. The pitching that the Reds have, they have really good starting pitching. And I get it. They had to lean on it down the stretch there, but nothing weird has to happen. You can lose 2-1. You can lose 4-3. I mean, just stuff happens in baseball games all the time, especially if the other guy's got good pitching. Baseball loves stories, which Gavin Lux coming back to LA after them basically saying, peace out. We don't need you anymore. Terry Francona, like you mentioned, he's not going to be scared. He's been through this a million times. He knows what's up. So, 3-game scaries are terrifying for a reason, because one error, one bad strikeout, one bad bullpen performance, and you're home again. And we're talking about Camelback Ranch by the end of the week. It could happen. I don't think it's going to, but it certainly can.
Yeah, and for Tony, I get it, right? Dodgers fans, we've seen this movie before. We've seen teams come with swagger, play the underdog card, and suddenly things get uncomfortable. And the Reds are an athletic team. They're aggressive. And Ellie De La Cruz, he's the kind of star who can take over a series. Plus, they're pitching 7 best ERA since the All-Star game. But here's the difference. This Dodgers team isn't limping into October. They've got the rotation lined up. They've got MVP caliber talent throughout the lineup, and they've got experience. A lot of it. Literally, last October, they were hoisting the Commissioner's Trophy out at Yankee Stadium. Not at any other small field. No, at Yankee Stadium at the Bronx. That matters in October, especially in a short series with pressure that mounts quickly, Trav.
It does. All that stuff matters. Baseball gets weird. And this is why I love baseball, and this is why it makes me want to bang my head on the desk every once in a while. It gets weird for no reason. Now, everything you said, and of all the things you said, I should say, the fact that they're hot right now, I think is the best thing. Freddie swinging the bat well. Shohei is swinging the bat well. Don't look now. Kike Hernandez is starting to swing the bat well. And Kike Hernandez is on this team for this reason, to play well in the postseason. The bullpen is rounded out a little bit. So I like the way that they're playing a lot. I think that they're in the right headspace. I think they know that their hot streak really hasn't happened in months. And it almost always does. So the timing should be about right for the Dodgers. But good starting pitching on the other side is the great equalizer.
You want to hear how weird baseball is, Travis? The Reds, this is courtesy of Opta Stats. The Reds are the first team in Major League Baseball history to have no qualifying batter hit 270, no batter hit 25 homers, no pitcher win 15 games, and no pitcher with 200 strikeouts in a non-shortened season, and yet still make it to the playoffs. I don't know if that talks great about the Reds or talks terrible about the postseason system, where nearly half of the teams in baseball are making it to the playoffs nowadays. But that's the way where it's like you look at those stats and it's like, Dodgers, you're a nearly $400 million roster. You need to take care of business quickly against this team.
Here's what we've said. We've said this a million times. You know what everybody's going to be on Tuesday night? 0-0. You know what everybody's going to be hitting? 0. You know what everybody's ERA is? 0. Everybody wipes it clean, and you don't have to hit 270 over 6 months. You got to hit 270 over 3 nights. And then they got a bunch of guys that have done that. Now, so have the Dodgers. So it's I can't wait. I'm ready to get it started right now.
And by the way, so yesterday I was calling a football game at the stadium, and I had my tablet on the side watching Kershaw do his thing. He goes out and I was like recording on my phone, the tablet. I was like, Kershaw, I'm going to miss you, man. Thank you for everything. And then I was like, okay, I had the tablet there. Dodgers won, turned it off, focused on the football game that the Raiders lost with a blocked field goal.
I know what that feels like. Yeah, we had one last week.
Mm-hmm. So then I literally was walking my dog and I was like, wait, who the heck are we playing? So I Googled MLB postseason schedule and I was like, oh, okay, the Reds, that they win today. And then no, they lost. Okay, the Mets lost. And I was like, wait, which are the other postseason series? And we're all baseball fans. And I feel like the next 2 days, potentially 3 days, are fantastic. Don't bother me. I'm going to be busy from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. watching postseason baseball because it's the Tigers at the Guardians. Love it. The Tigers choked. The Guardians get to host the wild card round as division champs. The Padres and the Cubs. Ooh, boy. Let's go Cubs. Good luck, Chicago. Red Sox, Yankees. Come on, man. And then Reds, Dodgers. As a baseball fan.
Yeah. Other than the fact that there's a million teams in the field, this feels like the playoffs when I was a kid. You're getting these great matchups. I cannot wait to get started. And I will be a very, very nervous guy come Tuesday night because the playoffs, every pitch is like, what's he doing? Why did he do that? Why? No. Every pitch becomes a big deal. Can't wait for it.
Absolutely. And for us, it all starts at Dodger Stadium, and October baseball is finally here. Yes, in September, but it's October baseball. We'll keep you covered every step of the way right here on Locked On Dodgers. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you're still craving more baseball talk, have the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night be your second listen. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find it on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And also catch Pete Fox after every Dodgers game on our YouTube channel with his live postcast. We'll be back Tuesday ahead of the Dodgers kicking off the wild card round against the Reds. Is it time yet, Travis?
It's getting close. It's getting close. We got a day and change, and we'll be there. Can't wait for it.
We needed to get here now because, look, I already got chills. I'm nervous. I need this series to start and hopefully finish in 2 days with the Dodgers winning it. We appreciate you riding with us. Until next time, keep it real. Keep it Dodger Blue.